Gasps to remember when Hollywood star Tom Cruise dared to take the hand of the beautiful Duchess of Cambridge as she ascended the stairs to the royal premiere of Top Gun, the latest invention, which is a mega smash around the world. Can't believe how many years it is since, of course, the original Top Gun, can you? Truly, where has that time gone? The other person that hasn't really aged is Tom Cruise. I mean, he looks a little bit older, doesn't he? But he still looks absolutely fantastic, you have to agree. But now, of course, everybody was speculating because when you think about it, did Tom break royal protocol? And more importantly, where did Tom's desire, shall we say, to pop up and appear at that royal event come from? Well, as ever, we did a little bit of digging for you, and this is what we found out. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to have your company today. Talking of icons, by the way, can I just say I was recently invited along to a wonderful event at Paramount Plus. And yes, for any Star Trek fans out there, I'm sitting in the original chair, Captain Kirk's chair. Captain T. James Kirk, I think it was, wasn't it? Do you remember the original? I loved the original Star Trek, didn't you? Dr. Spock, Lieutenant Uhura. I mean, they all were just fabulous characters, weren't they? Scotty, Chekhov. It was like a tick box, wasn't it? It was woke before woke, in fact. This is all really to celebrate all the brand new programs that are coming up on Paramount Plus, but really it was a nice event to pop along to. Not getting paid to plug it, by the way. I just wanted to share that picture with you because you become a big kid, don't you, when you sit in these things and think, wow, I'm actually in the chair of Captain Kirk. Ridiculous, but we never lose that sense of childishness, do we? Back as ever though to your breaking royal story of the day. This particular story is engaging in itself because, as we saw, you're never really too big, too famous, or indeed too iconic to become something of a fangirl yourself. And I think we'd all agree that we saw the Duchess of Cambridge a little bit, shall we say, impressed, let's just be kind, at meeting possibly one of her childhood heroes in the shape of Tom Cruise. We are told she had something of a crush on Tom way back in the day, that's right, as did her mother, Carol. Just keep it there. Now, of course, for Tom to get that wonderful invite for the royal premiere for his latest movie, as he said openly, sealed the fate of the movie. It did incredibly well and still doing well around the world at the box office, #1 in so many countries. But really, what shocked a lot of people was, how did Tom pop up at the Great Park in Windsor to be a host on the Gallop Through History? Do you remember that? That's where we saw the beautiful Lady Louise riding, of course, doing incredibly well, I thought. Very brave of her to do with a worldwide audience upon her, didn't you think? And for such a young age too, only 18 years old. And then, of course, to have the Hollywood star Tom Cruise in her midst. Of course, we had big names as well there, didn't we? Like Dame Helen Mirren doing her best thespian act as Elizabeth I. But according to a very good source, Tom's appearance truly was all down to this. That's right, Tom Cruise was personally invited after the Duchess of Cambridge sat down and proposed the idea to our gracious Majesty the Queen. Now apparently, yes, get this, the Queen is something of a fan of Tom Cruise and knew of him, obviously. Been around so long, she knew of his work and thought, yeah, that's quite a good idea. Now the reason being, a lot of people were speculating, saying, oh, well, this was just a great puff PR piece for Tom's film. Not at all. What it really did do was make it sort of anglicised in many ways, because then that meant there were a lot of people who were watching in America that could relate to the fact that we had an American part host in it. Now, as we've told you, Tom was incredibly nervous about doing this, as you would be with the Queen sitting directly opposite you. But he's openly admitted that it was all down now to the Duchess of Cambridge and her kindness in inviting him. And as he pointed out, it's stuff that dreams are made of. And, he never thought he would end up doing this at this point in his career. As I say, he's recently just hit 60. But once again, it's all down to the magnetism, the pulling power, and the sheer finesse of the beautiful Duchess of Cambridge, who managed to pull off once again such a coup in what's been a very busy year for her. Let's not forget, at the start of the end, shall we say, of last year, she sat down and stunned the world by playing a duet in Westminster Abbey. There seems no end to this Duchess's talents. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.